Good morning, Yanda, and good morning to the viewers once again. Yes, that part of Soweto, but we are broadcasting live at the Protea Glen Secondary School, and that's where we've been this entire morning. It's all about the big switch on 375 schools, but I'll tell you, this is part of a much bigger plan. A little bit later, we're going to have a chat to the Premier, and we're going to find out about the province's plans as we move and develop our ICT in our education space. Quickly, you would have seen this lady when I was talking to the MEC, Panyaza Lesufi, a little bit earlier, just ahead of the unveiling, or I should say post the unveiling, and he was talking us through just some of the lesson plans that she goes, this is really her name. Her name is Teacher Sweetness Radebe. Can you believe it? Okay, and we're joined here by two of the learners. Teachers, very quickly, I just want to find out from you, how difficult or how different was it showing the Premier and the Minister of Education what a lesson plan is?
It was very easy. I mean, we have this job, we do this day in and day out, so we are very comfortable with our work, so it wasn't really a challenge. And we've done this with the MEC anyway, prior to the sitting.
We're talking about life sciences here. Just take me through what a day-to-day structure for you as a teacher, setting up the lesson plan, will look like now.
Oh, now that we have the smartboards. I would be spending a lot of time on my laptop, and also on the internet, downloading a lot of interactive lessons for my learners. And now I'll be using a lot of visuals because life sciences is an interactive subject and learners need to know and see the specimens. And also on some of our practicals as well, even though they do them hands-on, they'll still be able to see a demonstration on their smartboards.
I'm hearing my floor manager, my producer, and a couple of other people talking about using the duster to reprimand children. Are you going to be missing the duster at all?
No. Definitely our generation has not been using the duster to hit our children. We don't hit our kids. We just yeah, tell her that's the duster. We are done with the duster. We won't be doing anything to our kids, and we're very excited that we'll be able to dress up and not get dirty because of the dust of the chalk.
That one got a reaction. Smart boards for smart teachers. Let me just introduce one of the learners here quickly. How does this, just talk to me about the tablets, the fact that technology is front and center. How do you think it's going to change the way you interact with just the learning materials?
Now, I find it more efficient, and we will get more information without struggles, and we will study. In fact, it will help us study more and be efficient in what we're doing.
I'm sure your mom and your dad would love hearing that it's going to make you study more. Just quickly join me here. Are you excited about what the smart classroom looks like now?
I'm very excited because we'll be able to access information that we were unable to access before. So, yeah. Okay.
No selfies, no Facebook.
No, definitely no selfies.
Okay, so let me bring in the Premier here very quickly, Mr. David Makhura. As you heard me say, that this is just part of a much bigger plan for Gauteng as a province. It was part of one of the 10 pillars that were adopted by the Department of Education. Mr. Makhura, just stand next to me here, please. One of the pillars was pillar 6, and it talks about ICT in education. Within this pillar, there are priorities. We're going to unpack that priorities very quickly. So thank you very much for joining me here this morning. Just how excited are you? We're into phase 2. At the beginning of this year, we talked about the pilot project at 7 schools. That was the Duza, Tembiza and Boksburg. Now we're on to phase 2 already, 375 schools now.
Yes, thank you very much. I think what we did at the beginning of the year was just to unveil a program that's part of our 10-pillar program of transformation, modernization and reindustrialization of Gauteng province. We are building a smart province. You can see here there are smart teachers, there are smart learners as well. And we are going to certainly be moving to produce smart workers. But it's very important to understand that out of this, there are other important interventions we are making. One of the key pillars of our program for transformation, modernization and reindustrialization is to modernize the public service. Now, education is just one area of it. I think what we're showcasing here is how much we can transform, make things easy, make it easy for our learners to access information, and make it exciting also to learn, you know. We're also moving this program into healthcare. So the smart classrooms, classrooms of the future, we're also bringing this into our healthcare system, e-healthcare. E-health, what you see here, we're also moving in other areas of the delivery of public services. So I think, again, consistent with our vision that we want to be a smart province, where government services are easy to access, but those citizens themselves have got easy access to services. So, of course, we will have smart citizens as well, like these learners you see here.
Let's talk about Pillar 6 very quickly, because that's part of the 10 pillars. It talks about connectivity, system-wide access, content, digital teaching, learning capacity, training support, and ICT skills development. A little bit earlier, the MEC was talking that we spent over 600 million rand on just training. Let's talk about this capacity building.
I think the first thing, the difference between what we did in January and what we're doing now is that we started with a pilot of 7 schools. Now we're going to all grade 12 classes across the province. Obviously, you would know a systems change like this brings lots of challenges. We need to train. We need to worry about the safety of this technology. We need to make sure that the support that's required to support this is going to be a big worry for us as well. We need to make sure that, as you know, some of this, all the tablets that the learners have themselves are looked after, that the community plays an important role here in looking after this equipment and this technology. So, we are challenged ourselves. It's not only the learners who are challenged, it's not only the teachers who are challenged to start doing things in a new way. Even the government, as we introduce this technology, we ourselves are challenged. But I'm very confident that we are equal to the task, as you were pointing out that in that pillar. But technology is just one area of infrastructure that we must roll out. We had an infrastructure conference last week. I was saying that we need to get huge private sector investment. For just what we have done here, to do all the schools, we're looking only at grade 12 classrooms. To do all the schools is going to be a major overhaul of our system. We're going to need huge resources. We're going to need to retrain all these teachers. So, yes, change is necessary, but that change brings lots of challenges. But the good thing, the learners are the ones who are more ready than us, the older generation. We are just fossils, when compared, they are far ahead of us. But I'm also impressed that the teachers, especially teacher sweetness is really readier than most of the teachers I have seen. So it's very inspiring. I think there's also a new generation of teachers that we are seeing here.
Premier, let's talk about, and you mentioned some of those challenges, let's talk about things around sanitation, infrastructure development, because as we roll them out, there are some real issues on the ground that needs to be dealt with.
Yes, and as I have said, that I think we shouldn't look at this as the only intervention we are making. We are also making interventions about huge infrastructure development, schools, hospitals, communities, human settlements, roads. But I'm critical of those who think, no, why do you move in this direction and you don't first sort out the others? We will sort these issues out simultaneously. We are fixing the toilets, but at the same time, we are taking a giant leap to the next generation, and we want to do all these things simultaneously. And the conference we had last week was about sorting out all infrastructure requirements. But in the area of technology, that's the way to go. Green technology is the way to go. Bringing a green infrastructure, a more modern infrastructure into our system of government, into public services, into education, into health, including into policing, is an exciting thing. So this is the second giant step we are making. So we used to talk a lot about a smart province without demonstrating that we can indeed be. But these learners show that they are running far ahead, and the teachers are running far ahead in this road to becoming a smart province.
Ultimately, at the end, this is about transformation. This is part of Gauteng's Vision 2055. Let's talk about where we are in that development process of that vision as we're heading towards 2055, and what these young people, these learners of tomorrow. One of the things that the MEC mentioned as well is that we need to get off this mindset of kids that are employed, but rather through this new process become entrepreneurs.
Yeah, you know, so again, just back to our vision, that firstly we have the National Development Plan, Vision 2030 for South Africa. So we all fit in that. We want to achieve, we want to build our country into a great nation. Linked to it here in Gauteng, we have what we call, again, I've spoken about the vision for transformation, modernization, and reindustrialization. We need to transform the state. We need to modernize the way we do things. We need to modernize our economy. We need to modernize the infrastructure. We need to ensure that we build an economy that produces new goods and services. But the introducing technology amongst our learners already is a giant leap. Many of them will live here. It's not just about how they learn, but they are going to be new producers of applications. These kids you see, they are going to add a lot of value. As they get introduced to it so early, they are going to be our new job creators. They are going to be the ones who create new companies, technology-based, they are techno-savvy. They are going to add new values, goods and services into our economy. So it's not only about the way they learn, it is also about transforming them. They are going to be new workers, they are going to be new innovators. So it's a very important investment the country is making in that transition to a new and modern economy.
You've adopted a school in Alex. You've handed them tablets. Just talk to me about that very quickly.
Yes, I mean, as part of Mandela Day on Saturday, I went to Alexander's Realugile Secondary School as one of the schools I have adopted. I think all of us, in addition to what we are doing in government, but just as citizens, as good citizens, we need to do more. And I make this point that I don't want to only relate to schools as the premier of the province, but I just, as a citizen, I have another, so the Alexander's Realugile School is one of them, so we are going to be working with them, supporting them. There's a school in Ivory Park that I'm doing the same, and another school in Diepsloot. So what we're basically saying is that education is a societal challenge. It's a societal responsibility. Every single one of us have to do something, not only in our official capacities, in our official responsibilities. We have to do that every other moment. Make sure that we're getting our country going, because without education, we can't get anywhere. And the time we are spending in making sure that every single school improves. It's not only technology that helps schools to improve, just the seriousness and the discipline of the teachers, the discipline of the learners, the discipline of the parents, the efforts they are putting in ensuring that their children can see that without education there's no future. That's what every citizen has to do, and that's, for us, is very, very important. To get South Africa working, we must get our education system working.
Very quickly, we're running out of time. One of the innovations is around protecting the new smart technology. There are cameras mounted in the classrooms, there's alert, there's security. Just a very quick message to the role that community members, parents can play, making sure that this technology stays here and empowers the learners.
You know, I think that we can't emphasize more the fact that the communities must take responsibility. These are their facilities. It's for their own children. It's for this community to produce, educate a new generation of educated young people. But if they don't look after this infrastructure and allow criminals to come in and vandalize the property, it will be a very, very sad day. But I'm very confident that even these learners will pressurize their parents to do something. This must be a very safe haven for learning.
So we're going to leave it there, but thank you very much for joining me, the Premier of Gauteng, David Makhura, just sharing his insights as the big switch on happened this morning here at Protea Glen Secondary School. Loads more to come for the techies. We're going to find out more about the system, and we're also going to maybe talk to some learners and some more teachers and find out how this will impact on their lives. Let's get back to the studio. It's time for your headline news.